With Gutman's red card suspension and Wiley with the under-20s, what are your options at left back?
Aiden McFadden, Ronald Hernandez, Luis Abram. I mean, he's played like that in Cruz Azul, so we have a few options.
Didn't see Sadic out there today.
He pulled, I forgot the name of the muscle in the calf, soleus, I think it is. So you're going to see it today in the Euro report. He's going to be out for a few weeks. The kid felt that he didn't want to play in the first half, and he was so brave to continue. He felt okay with a bit of pain, but he continued like that. And then later on, we did a scan, and he pulled a muscle.
And Jorgis's fitness levels, what are those at this point?
Well, progressing. Obviously, still not 90 minutes fit, so we have to manage that. 3 games in a week, exactly the week that he's back to play, and so we need to manage his fitness, his minutes, trying to be smart with it, and we'll see.
With the offense, it's 4 goals in the past 4 games. The defense has now given up 21 this season. Are you considering any kind of formational change or anything to try to get both ends of the field working better?
No formational change. I think we just need to do our roles better. I think the goals we have considered are not goals that backline of 5 will solve. I think our concentration, understanding the roles, individual mistakes that we know we have to do better. I think most of the goals that we have considered, especially let's say the last 8 goals we considered in the last 3 games, the big majority are solvable goals. I mean, 2 penalties and some duels that I feel like we can do better in there. So no expectation on changing the formation.
The message after the game was, there's a lack of urgency, paraphrasing. The opponents want it more. How did the players receive that message, and what did you see today?
Yeah, I'm happy that you used that word, because I use intensity, and it's the first word that came to my mind, and I was more looking for urgency, and that's what I told the players. It's not that there's no effort or there's no intensity. It's that lack of urgency that I see in the opponents, and they wanted a little bit more. That's what I told them. Reflecting on the film today, we watched a couple of the attacking actions we had, and you can see when we start to unbalance Charlotte, especially in the first 30 minutes of the game, they all like 8-9 players inside the box, plus the goalkeeper. So 10 players inside the box, they just sprint back and get in those areas, making it really, really hard to play a through ball or a cutback or something, because they just clock there. It's emergency mode, they just sprint back. So we need to try to play with the same type of emergency or urgency, to whether it's attacking or defending. If they put a lot of numbers inside the box, we have to put also a lot of numbers inside the box and be more patient in how we attack, more dangerous areas. So we need to put all that together, because it's not lack of effort. It's not like that. That's what I was telling you. Normally the intensity in the training sessions is pretty good, pretty high. We're actually very, very happy about that. It's that sense of urgency. So maybe, being in 3rd place, 2nd place, starting of the season very good, and then maybe a little bit of complacency, and then the opponents, they come with everything against us. So it's a little bit of that, and I think it's fixable. We talk about that as a group. We show clips that probably prove that, and I expect a better response tomorrow.
I've had to ask you this a few times now, but the wingers, Etienne, Araujo has, I think, 1 shot on goal the past 7 games, 1 assist the past 6 games. Etienne is yet to score. How do you get those guys going?
Well, I feel like those stats say kind of we're terrible, and I don't think it's the case. Like when you look at those stats, yes, probably 1 shot from Araujo, probably no assist in the last few games, but a bit of lucky in certain moments. Like, he did a fantastic play in the first, I think, 10 minutes. He dribbled past 2-3 guys on the right side, and then he plays that cut back, and Caleb missed it. Like, he put it on the rock. If we scored that one, maybe he gets more confident, gets an assist, and then it's that momentum. So a couple of those have happened in a few games with him. The same with Derek. I felt like he's in dangerous areas. It's just we are not, again, we talked about this a few games ago, we are not delivering the final pass or the final touch into goal. That's what we're missing, but they've been in good positions. Actually, the first 30 minutes of Luis Araujo, were great, were one of the best starts in games for him. So I think we just need to be more consistent throughout the 90 minutes and get him into more dangerous areas continuously. It's about him, it's about the team finding him, Thiago, Brooks, Derek, I mean, the strikers. We need to do all that to get more goals and assists.
What, if anything, is supposed to change about how the team attacks when the game state changes and y'all go down early like that and teams start to maybe bunker and sit in a little bit? Is there anything that's supposed to change with how the attack presents itself, stage patterns, anything like that?
So you talk about the moment when we lost Andrew, or just in general?
Just going down early in games, in the game state changes where you're now playing from behind.
I think that changes massively, right? Obviously, there are numbers and stats that say that the team that scores first has way more probabilities to win, especially in MLS, especially playing away. It's about that urgency to start on the front foot. I think actually we did. We just missed the goal, but that can change everything. I mean, in the first half, I don't know how many shots on goal they had. Probably you're better than that than me, but I think it's only the goal, right? It's only one chance, and they score. We had 3, and we didn't score. So it's those little things that we need to fix. But we talk about that, and we said something very interesting. When we talk about urgency and that, it's very easy to show urgency when we are down a goal or down a man. Kind of that hurts you. Can we have the same sense of urgency when we are 11-11 from the first whistle and don't concede anything in behind, and then try to be more proactive with it's a little bit of an extra boost, extra run, a little bit of something. Can we have that since the beginning of the game? That's what we discussed. So it's about getting the same urgency that we show probably after the third goal and being a man down. Jaku enters the game, and then suddenly it felt like we could have gotten the second goal, and then we had some momentum to score a fantastic goal again on the last minute of the game, and it felt like that because with one man down we were so aggressive, so trying to impact the game in any way possible, right? So can we show that when we're 11-11 first whistle and show that sense of urgency? And that's the key to me. We have to come back to that sense of urgency since the beginning of the game and be consistent.
You talked about teams making adjustments to y'all after the first few games. How, in particular, have they adjusted to Thiago and his positioning? It seems like maybe he's getting fouled a little more, maybe getting marked out a little more.
Well, overall, and I don't say this as an insult or anything like that. Everyone has the freedom to play any style they want, but against us, especially the last few games, look at Nashville, look at Miami, look at Charlotte, is like they're a bit more defensive and pragmatic and solid block, and they defend, again, what I was saying, 10, 11 players inside the box. Miami, 10 players inside the box, Campana on top in halftime, in the half field. This game, similar at times 2 on top, 1, but the rest are pretty much everyone inside the box. So that has been kind of the tendency, whether we play at home or away. And then on Thiago, it's just they try. I feel like they are obviously, they understand the value of Thiago, so then at times man marking, at times just double team him or push him on areas where he's probably less effective on the flanks and that, and we have adjust that. Like once he's outside and the flank, maybe Andrew is the one that shows in the pocket, and from there we create something. But of course we have to adjust, and this game maybe we adjust a little bit on that. Let's see how we can get Thiago more time on the ball in free spaces and higher on the field. But certainly there's been adjustments from the opponents.
I think against Miami, late in the game, Luis shifted out to the left and was able to maybe be effective in playing balls in against the low block. Is that an idea we might see more of going forward?
Well, that was more based on the game and how they were defending, and I felt that their fullbacks were doing a good job at protecting at that moment the premises zones. They switched to a back 5 in that moment, so then we decided, okay, let's see if with more natural foot we can put some crosses like that. Overall, I think that we should play the players where they used to. When things are like these, like a little bit of lack of confidence or these things, I think this to simplify is the best way. So simple, everybody knows the roles, the simple things we have to do, everyone in their position, what's the basic role of the fullback, what's the basic role of the inverted winger, and we should keep it like that. I don't want to change too much because we are in this moment where we have to just do the simple things right, put the effort, put the intensity, the urgency, but the simple things on the ball right, on and off the ball, and I'm going to do that this game.
How do you make sure you get that urgency? You said you showed the film, showed examples of where it wasn't there, and it's moved down a little bit on the table, right? But how do you make sure you get it once the whistle blows?
Well, I have to do my job at telling them first what I think, then showing examples of that, then talking to them, listen to what they have to say, and the response from them has been very good, whether it's in training session, in the film room. They talk a lot. They are very participative in saying, yes, we can do this better. We have to do this better. So they've been very proactive on that. That's the response I wanted in training session. Very professional, good intensity, good on the ball. Since the warm-up, you can see that sense of maybe not, they cannot sprint after a game, after 90 minutes the next day, but they can certainly pay attention to the instructions, take care of the pass. So you can see that sense of urgency in those little things. Now at the end of the game, as I always said, is players' game. Football is players' game, and it's up to them now show in 90 minutes plus 90 minutes that we want to get back to that urgency in the team and be cohesive and be on the front foot and dictate the tempo, but with a lot of aggression in the good sense.
How patient can or will you be if you don't see that in the first 20 minutes against Colorado, for example?
That won't happen. So
that won't happen.
That won't happen. So I'm very confident in the team.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
With Brad and Ozzy back in training, are you starting to get the response from a vocal leadership perspective with those guys and anybody else stepping up?
Yes, I think that helps. Training session had been not that better because the standard is pretty good, but yes, I read that voice, and Ozzy dictated a little bit here in the rondos, and Brad in the locker room talking to them, or he comes close by and talk to them and guide them, accountability, all that. Of course, that leadership is very important for us. With Yaku, it's the same. Yaku back helps a lot of that. So yeah, the more the veterans are involved with the first team, I think the better, because they know they've been through these periods of time many times, so they know what to do on the field. So I'm happy with that.
How do you want the team to handle those lulls where you have control for 30 minutes and goal doesn't come, or they make a big save and you have that drop that's just natural? How do you want them to handle it? Do you want them to be safer defensively? Do you want them to push harder forward?
Yeah, mental strength. I think that exactly what you're saying, that happened. After 30 minutes, we had chances on goal. We have to give credit to Kalina. He did two fantastic saves. The cross from Brooks is a touch from Kalina, where it's a fantastic cross, actually, exactly in between the goalkeeper and defender. Thiago and Andrew were there just for an easy tap, and Kalina did a fantastic save there. Then the 1v1 on Luis. So they did their job on that. Credit to Kalina, but after that, and then conceding a soft goal, you can say, then kind of the mood of the team is kind of, oh yeah, and it's not like they don't want to attack, but it's kind of a mental game, right? So I need everyone just to be strong mentally. Doesn't matter what happened in the game, we score, we concede. We have to show the same determination to continue scoring goals. Actually, that's something that we do quite well. When we score first, normally we try to be proactive and continue scoring, whether maybe, yes, we're a bit more pragmatic because the opponent brings more numbers, but then in transition we want to score again and again and again. So that's the mentality. It's not like we haven't shown, it's just maybe we didn't do in the last few games.
Last question.
No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gonzalo.